What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Comic Island, and my name is Joey, and today we're gonna go through the most updated list to Batman's Bat Family because, oh yeah, they've changed quite a bit over the years. To be more precise, we're gonna put a lot of focus into DC Rebirth Detective Comics because listing everyone that is affiliated with Batman would be just really hard. Oh, and FYI guys, we will be discussing about some of the closest people to Batman, especially in Detective Comics. So if you are looking for a detailed explanation of what happens in Detective Comics in year 1, I recommend checking out Arden's video. The link will be in the description below. So let's just get on with this. This is Batman's updated list of the House of the Bat. Detective Comics marks a very awesome time to be a Batman fan because with DC Rebirth's relaunch, Detective Comics will not just shine a bright light on the Dark Knight himself, but rather it will focus on some of those closest to him, and with the addition of new members. To start off the list, we are going to rewind it back to the beginning of DC Rebirth's launch of Detective Comics in issue 934. Due to a vigilante crisis Batman cannot explain, he takes on a partner on his crusade to defend Gotham City. Along with Batwoman, the Dark Knight recruits a strike team consisting of Tim Drake aka Red Robin, Cassandra Cain aka Orphan, Stephanie Brown aka Spoiler, and Basso Carlo aka the villain Clayface. This may seem like a small team considering the fact that Batman has a lot of superheroes he can call to. The Justice League is employed when dealing with threats in a more cosmic level and of course earth-ending situations. His team, the Justice League of America, are grounded and are used as PR, keeping great relations with the world. Even though Red Robin started the Teen Titans, Batman, being the stoic figure that he is, has already claimed that team as his own and has even threatened to shut down the team if they don't meet his expectations. He has his newest recruit, Duke Thomas, running close to him in All-Star Batman, and he also has his trump card, Claire Clover, aka Gotham Girl, who could go in a fist fight with Superman and come out victorious, but she trades in her life force for these powers. And then, of course, he has his core family members, which consists of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Robin, who all visits him regularly at their Wayne Manor. Back in Detective Comics, an unknown vigilante group poses a threat to Gotham, and of course, Batman takes on a team, but he isn't a good teacher, so he partners up with his cousin, Kate Kane, aka Batwoman, who has military training. They started up a covert strike team to be sent out to multiple different areas in Gotham to effectively protect the city if it is ever under siege. First recruit is of course Red Robin, who has been recently spending a lot less time with his team, the Teen Titans. Red Robin is a master strategist and tactician whose detective skills rivals Batman's. There is an argument that Batman and or Batwoman are still the main characters of this story, but I argue that Red Robin is front and center of Detective Comics in DC Rebirth. He isn't the leader of the strike team, but he is a walking computer able to map out all angles of attack and find the best scenario to defuse problems. They even start up a new base of operations that is not a Batcave. Red Robin has his Robin's Nest sprinkled around town if he ever needs supplies, but he takes on a new HQ on top of the tower he calls the Belfry. This will be where the strike team will execute their operations. Batman's next recruit is Stephanie Brown, the Spoiler. Now, before you guys crucify me for stating that Stephanie Brown was never a Robin, let's take a walk down memory lane. Before the New 52, which resetted the entire DC universe, Stephanie Brown essentially convinced Batman to take her under his wing as a new Robin, whose suit is based off Tim Drake's design. She was a horrible Robin and was fired and later met her death in Batman War Games in 2004. Stephanie Brown comes back 4 years later revealing that her death had been faked by Batman ally Leslie Tompkins. She later takes on the title of Batgirl after Cassandra Cain gave up the mantle following Batman's supposed death. But all of this was retconned in the New 52 due to the fact that Barbara Gordon healed from the Joker's injuries and kept her mantle as Batgirl, which means Cassandra Cain was never a Batgirl either. Okay, now that we've set that straight, let's get back on track. Now that we have established that Stephanie Brown was never a Robin, we can continue stating that she started her heroics as Spoiler, whose purpose was to spoil her father's villainous plans for destabilizing Gotham City. Trained by Catwoman and raised by two verifiable geniuses, Batman made the mistake of underestimating her before, and he won't do it again. She is unrefined but determined. Stephanie fought her villain mother in Batman and Robin Eternal. She is a love interest and support character to Tim Drake Robin. Since his supposed death, she is a wild card. Stephanie was brought into the fold with the rest of the team and was trained under Batman and Batwoman's tutelage to be part of their emergency response team to defend Gotham City. She knows their moves, their tactics, and of course their secret identity. So when Robin dies, She resented Batman and his militia for essentially causing Tim's death and threatened to reveal the team's secret identity to the public, and of course will be there to stop them from carrying out their vigilantism. From side character love interest, Stephanie Brown, the spoiler, takes a unique spot as the wild card, the inside person that could take down the House of Bat. And of course, the villains in Gotham City already approached her in trying to do so. Anarchy attempted to bring her into his criminal organization and has even tried to start a romantic relationship with her following Red Robin's death. The Victim Syndicate, led by a mysterious man in red face cover, has already succeeded in turning her away from the Bat family, causing her to go solo until Red Robin's return from his supposed death. Following Tim Drake's return, a spoiler rejoined the team, but her resentment is still there, and now her relationship with Tim is on the rocks. We now got Cassandra Cain, aka the living weapon, Orphan. She was engineered by her father away from other children to be a living weapon. Her father deprived her of speech so she would learn of movement and physicality as her first language, and Batman admits that she is the most dangerous fighter he has ever seen in action. Orphan is able to see pressure points and to take down an opponent, causing as little or as most pain as possible in the most efficient manner possible. If guided by another, Orphan could be one of the most deadliest opponents Batman will ever have to face, but if guided by Batman, she could be a weapon for good. Orphan is basically a one-person war machine. She beat Dick Grayson without taking any hits, and when an army of men trained in the fighting style of Batman, backed up by military-grade weapons and gadgets, she took them all on alone and stood victorious as these men laid bloody. These soldiers have already beaten Batman and subdued them, but Orphan took them out on multiple times and has already come out victorious. It took over a dozen tranquilizer darts to finally subdue her. She then takes on her mother, Lady Shiva, who controls a faction of the League of Assassins. To get to her villainous mother, Orphan bulldozed down probably 100 assassins on her blood-soaked path to get to her target. Batman's code is to never kill, and of course he seeks out ways to save his enemies he left in Arkham. One villain he could save is Basil Karlo, a longtime villain known as Clayface. Karlo has the most outrageous power set in his new strike team, being able to grow or shrink in mass, being malleable, changing his molecular makeup to disguise as anyone or anything he chooses to. He aids Batman during the Siege of the Dark Knights when he posed as Batman so that the Dark Knight can get away from the Justice League. He also infiltrated a criminal group gathering to learn of their plans before alerting his team to shut the operation down. Basil can harden his skin as a protective shield or soften his skin in order to slip through small cracks, but the problem is that Clayface suffers from a form of insanity where he gives into his anger and doesn't care about anything else, but his Jekyll and Hyde problem comes with a cure. With the help of Dr. Victoria October, a bracelet was developed to cure his murderous hunger and to keep his empathy levels at his normal rate. The longer Basil stays in Clayface form, the more his moral center of his brain decays, which reverts him back to being a homicidal monster. With the bracelet's help, he remains in control of his humanity. Basil found a kindred soul in Cassandra Cain, who is just as much broken as he is. These two are powerful killing machines who recite Shakespeare in their free time. She loves dancing to ballet, and he spends hours of his own time visiting a villain who was a victim of his monstrous path. Gloria Griffin also has Clayface's powers, but she joined up with the Victim Syndicate and resents him for what he did to her, and yet, Basil still chose to see her in jail in hopes of changing her moral compass. Clayface put up the ultimate test when the public discovers that he is part of Batman's strike team. Clayface lost control and is released upon Gotham City. Empathy is suppressed and anger takes over, but as he is ready to kill Batman, Red Robin, and Batwoman, Orphan jumped in front of him, basically acting as a meat shield, not believing that her friend can be so cold-blooded. This act halted the anger in him and empathy took over. Basil changed back to his human form, proving that there are two sides to this man and he can be a force for good as long as he can keep the monster in check. Luke Fox, aka Batwing, was brought into the strike team by Batman to replace Tim Drake for his technical genius. This decision to bring in Batwing didn't go well with Batwoman due to the fact that she sees Luke as being a man only out for himself, but that didn't stop Batman from making that executive decision. And besides, with Tim Drake being MIA and believed to be dead, no one could operate their base of operations, the Belfry. The Belfry is Tim Drake's brainchild and his legacy. It was a talent's nest created by the Court of Owls, but after their downfall, the Belfry was left abandoned, so with Bruce Wayne's money backing him up, Tim designed the place to be state-of-the-art where any crime happening in the city will have a response from Batman's agents within minutes. Nightwing is back in action, and Jason Todd basically has his eyes on the criminal underground. Batgirl is traveling around the globe, and Damian is a decent replacement for Tim Drake and the Teen Titans. So if Tim can get the Belfry back up and running, then Batman's war on crime got a whole lot more efficient. But with Tim Drake's disappearance, no one can run the Belfry. Enter Luke Fox Batwing. His father is Lucius Fox, who basically runs Wayne Enterprise for Bruce Wayne. Lucius also aided Bruce in creating his first few sets of crime-fighting gadgets, so all of the toys Batman has, Batwing will have at his disposal. Batwing offers advanced tech and toys to the Bat family. He gave Clayface an updated gauntlet that allows the ex-villain to better control his murderous form. He updated everyone's communication capabilities, and he has his own lab with tons of Bat mech suits and Batwings that he can control remotely. And more awesome than that, Batwing has his own personal butler who's basically designed after Jim Gordon's Bat mech suit from his days of being Batman. Batwing is a powerhouse by himself, but put him aside, Azrael makes these two awesome characters that would love to hear banter back and forth and of course go on missions together. Jean-Paul Valley isn't born, but rather he was engineered to become the perfect assassin to take on the mantle of Azrael, the sword of Saint Dumas. He isn't born, but engineered in a vat, his DNA manipulated with beasts. He was raised by a woman who knew how to shape children into a weapon, Mother. Now, if you guys have been following Batman in the New 52 and Rebirth, then you will remember who she is. But if you want to know more about Batman's battle with Mother, let me know in the comments below and we can cover that in a Batman and Robin's Eternal video. Oh yeah, and FYI, Mother is also the person who subjected Cassandra Cain, aka Orphan, to her harsh punishment as part of her personal child assassin team. So back to Jean-Paul Valley, the Order of Saint Dumas gave him to Mother to train him when he was just a young boy. Part of the training includes allowing Jean-Paul to go out to the real world to find himself and create his own personal identity, only to be taken away from the Order. They took away his life and broke him in every level imaginable. Then they gave him their most horrible weapon, the Suit of Sorrows. The Suit of Sorrows is laced with an AI more powerful than anything Luke Fox has ever seen. Luke has stated that this suit is not just theoretical science, but impossible science. Since Jean-Paul is a man of religion, it doesn't make sense that he relies on technology in his suit, but due to Luke's statement, I gotta assume that there is a bit of mysticism and magic along with some form of alien tech in the Suit of Sorrows. The suit also makes the wearer the perfect assassin, but the bad side effect is that it makes them go mad with zealotry, which urges the wearer to kill whoever is standing in their way. When an android calling itself Ashelon attacks the team, Jean-Paul lost to the influence of Azrael, depicted as a gruesome, deformed fallen angel. We dig deeper and discover that there was a programming in Jean-Paul's mind when he was just young. This programming is Ashelon, and it takes over Jean-Paul's body and plans on killing the Bat family to set Jean-Paul free. At the same time, Ashelon's consciousness is also present in an android's body. It took the entire team with a bit of magic to take down Azrael, but this is when things get interesting. Batwing creates a new suit for Jean-Paul, with a new set of religion replacing the Ashelon programming. The programming he uses is all of Batman's best attributes. The best part of all this is the new suit pays huge homage to when Jean-Paul took over as Batman when Bruce Wayne went missing pre-New 52. So this is the current strike team so far. Batman's core family will always be his Robins, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne, and newcomer Duke Thomas. But with that being said, how do you feel about Batman and his many different teams? Which team is your favorite? Please let me know in the comments below. Oh, and let me know if you want a video on Batman and Robin Eternal. I think it would be fun to do. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video and want to support us, feel free to check out our Patreon page. The link will be in the description below. Thanks again, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in another Comic Island video.